The morning routine is important.
That's what she said.
Hi everyone, welcome to Oscar and Masha channel. We're going to talk about the morning routine and everything that could affect it. We will start from accommodation because the choice what you made in that point will affect what you do in the morning.
Should you get it with breakfast or not? That's also important. Also mandatory kits for the race.
At which moment you should put everything on your bag.
When you should have breakfast because you don't want to puke. And overall, how to make your race a better experience.
First of all, we're going to talk about the accommodation. You think it might be not really related to the morning routine, but it will affect it a lot depending where you're staying.
Before, we used to go to campings. We didn't have a lot of budget, so it was okay for us. But when you go to a camping, you need to carry your equipment along with the racing one. So it becomes kind of, heavy. Also, on the camping, if you have a bad rain or cannot really sleep so nicely.
We decided to put a little bit more budget in the accommodation, and we're staying in some kind of cheap hotel still, but we're trying to get some private room for both of us to have a nice rest before the race. Or sometimes it's even hostel as well.
We don't mind, as long as it's not so expensive and it's with 4 walls.
Yeah, after that it depends a lot if you have your partner which is just helping you on the race, or both of you running, or you're just alone. It will depend how to organize. Some races, the starting and end point are different. It means you always have options to stay closer to the start line or spend the both night before and after race closer to the finish.
You need to make sure that the transportation also, if you're the crew member going to do support, sometimes you have 1 or 2 buses per day, so you need to make sure that you stay in the proper accommodation and really think about that before. Thank you, Swiss Peaks. Because on Swiss Peaks, we finished the race, then we had to take a train and then walk 5 kilometers to the accommodation place. It was not bad, but after you do 44 kilometers, it becomes a little bit tiring.
Exactly. Don't do that.
A little bit.
In the end, perfect situation when you're staying close to the start line in the morning. That's how you will save more time, and you stay the next day closer to the finish line. Like that, you will have less time to walk to your hotel and closer to the bed for start your recovery as soon as possible.
And now an important point is you want to make sure that your hotel has a breakfast included, because going to search for breakfast at 7 a.m. is not the best thing to do in Europe, and the hotel will sometimes also adapt their hours in case there's a race and they have many guests staying on the same hotel. Then they will even move their hours. So once we got it at 5:30 a.m.
The amazing example of this, it's a hostel in the Grindelwald area. They accommodate lots of people who was running the Eiger race. And for the people who run 101, the race started at 4 and they moved breakfast to 2 a.m. to help those guests. That was incredible and increased my loyalty to this place incredibly.
Yeah, that was very sweet from them. So, now we already talked about accommodation and that it should be with breakfast. Now let's do to the mandatory kits.
I prefer to do it the day before the race to make sure that I have time to check it 25 times. But in the moment when I decide it's okay, I will put it there from the evening and I will not recheck it again because the nerves coming and I always think, oh, maybe I forget that and that. But no, trust the process and do it the evening before, and on the race day, don't touch it. And after that, the main question is what you're gonna eat for your dinner.
If you've seen our videos, you've seen that we always go to Italian places.
We're traditionalists, we like to pasta loads.
Loads of pasta.
Pasta party.
Yeah.
And after that, what do you do after the dinner?
Pasta. Yes, after dinner, we need to go to bed early.
Normally, we're talking mostly about the races when you need to travel before, and we're going there on Friday because most part of our races was on Saturday morning.
Exactly.
And normally you need to be there earlier to pick up your number and to check your mandatory gear. It means usually we wake up very early on Friday to travel, and we didn't have much sleep the night before. And that's why in the evening we try to go to bed as early as possible. Because even if you're not able to sleep, for example, at 8 p.m., still it's better to just chill out in the bed, listening some podcasts, trying to give your mind out of race nerves. And sometimes a very nice scientific audiobook can get you asleep better than a lullaby.
Hopefully you've been able to sleep and not like Masha here when sometimes she's like awake because she's too nervous and happy to go race 100 kilometers. Or when should you wake up for a race? Okay, so how are you supposed to wake up?
How?
When are you supposed to wake up? How is with 3 very good girls in the morning? That's how you should wake up. That's not what's going to happen because you're racing.
You need to try to maximize the sleeping time before the race to be as rested as possible. You need to really calculate at what time the latest you could wake up. Yeah, first of all, it's at which time the race starts.
Yeah.
From where at this point we're going to calculate backwards. The second of all, you need to, as we discussed before, where is you're located in the moment in the morning. If you need to take the transport, you need to consider to check the timetable. Some races even ask you to choose the one specific point for the bus, as for example UTMB races. The other thing which is really important is anticipating digestions. You want to have some calories in, but you also want it not to be stuck in your stomach, and when you start to run, you want to avoid it going out.
Yeah.
We recommend at least 2 hours between the race start and the end of your prep. And the last point?
And the last point is that you need to make sure you have 30 minutes to go pee at some point.
Yeah,
because the lines are huge.
Yeah, sometimes in some races the lines are huge, and sometimes
That's what she said.
and the trail races sometimes even advantages for girls, because everyone knows normally girls have to wait longer for the toilet, but since there is lower percentage of girls participating in trail events, hope it will change, but it means there is a less line for the girls' toilet.
Yeah.
At least some advantage.
For once, she's faster than me.
Yay! Try to not be as our friend Denis, who almost missed the starting line of the race because he was waiting for the toilet.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Exactly. The first question from the morning, when you understand at which moment you need to wake up, the alarm clock is gone, and what you're thinking about, it's should you shower or not? And the answer is?
Of course you should, because chafing is hell and showering is gonna make it less likely to happen. Still probably gonna happen, but less.
And right after the shower, we're going to
Breakfast.
Yay! Since we choose the hotel where the breakfast is included.
Exactly, so you just have to go downstairs like 2 or 3 floors and you'll have your own breakfast at 7 a.m.
Yay! The
Now-
next question, what to choose?
Exactly, because you have like in theory a lot of choices, which is a buffet.
Some choices are better than the others.
Everything with sugar,
Yes.
with
fatty.
fat. Exactly.
No.
So fatty, bad. Yeah.
It's all about like things. Take something what's easy digestible. Normally, I'm taking some toasts and cooked eggs, like the boiled eggs, as well as some jam to make some sweets, and the coffee because I'm addicted. The worst scenario when you eat something fatty with a very strong taste,
Yeah, when
And
it comes
after that,
back,
yeah.
it's not good.
and when you start to run, it's go up and you feel it like horribly on your mouth. It's just
The
like
whole time,
to avoid.
it will stop you to do racing.
Yeah.
And now you've done just showered, you've had breakfast. Now it's time to get ready, otherwise you'll be late.
That's a moment to put your clothes on, but as well, don't forget about the anti-chafing solutions.
Yeah, it's very important to put everything on your feet and also on your butt and stuff to make sure that you don't suffer that much.
Between the butt cheeks.
Yes, exactly, like butter. Anyway, once you have all of that, you put everything that you prepared from the day before, you know?
Nothing new on the race day. If you're not sure why you need to use the anti-chafing solution, here in the on the description area, I will put some story from Jill Homer, when you will definitely understand why it's important.
And now you're ready to go.
Yay!
Yay! So now it's only transportation.
Or walking to the finish line if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
lucky enough. Since we're still on the back of the pack, we still have this attitude towards the people who are doing lots of warming up. They're like running and jumping and do all of the dynamic stretches. We all know in theory what it's all good, but
Yeah.
still in my head at least, I always have this thought, oh my god, there's people gonna run 40, 50, 60, 100 kilometers and they still doing warming up. They don't want to save the energy? First 5 kilometers, it's a warming up. Yeah, but if you go in for performance, maybe consider to do some dynamic stretches.
Yeah.
If you will run strong from the beginning, it might be good to warm up your muscles and tendons to avoid injuries.
Yeah, we don't do strong from the beginning. We do warming up from the beginning.
Yeah, different approach. But who knows what you will prefer? Tell us in the comment. Okay.
As you can see, preparing for a race can be very entertaining, almost as much as running the race itself.
And it's kind of strategical.
Yeah, there's so much to plan, and that's part of the joy of doing these races for us as well.
Because that's what we can do properly.
We hope that these tips will serve you well. We're happy to share them with you, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and run.
And come back for more videos from Oskar and Masha channel. See you!
See you! Run a lot. And this is Luna, who's going to say hi, hi everyone, look at me and my belly. My belly says scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. My belly says scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Welcome to Oskar and Masha. I am a cat. I'm Oskar and Masha's cat.